The research that came out today was showing that Ruvidar on its own, without light activation, was able to significantly destroy the disease more than Acyclovir. And the interesting point is that once the cells were infected, if you used Acyclovir, it had no impact. But if you used Ruvidar, it was very effective in the destruction of the disease. So opens up a very large market for the company.
All right, welcome back inside our proactive newsroom. Joining me now is Roger DuMoulin-White. He is the CEO of Theralase Technologies. And Roger, welcome back. Good to see you again.
Great to see you.
So interesting news release out from the company today, talking about one of your drugs and the use of treating herpes. And for people who are unfamiliar, we're talking sort of about the market size of herpes because it is amazingly large. Now there is a treatment currently on the market. So talk to me a little bit about your drug and the differences.
Sure, by all means. Well, let's paint the landscape a little bit. Acyclovir is used for herpes simplex. So there's herpes simplex 1, which are the face lesions, herpes simplex 2, which are the genital lesions. You get into herpes zoster, chickenpox, etc. So it's pretty widespread. They estimate, I think, about 67% of the world's population have the disease. So it's a very large market. I think under the age of 50, you're talking about 3.7 billion people with herpes simplex 1, and you're talking about 500 million people with herpes simplex 2. So it's a fairly disease that's fairly prevalent around it. So Acyclovir, the world market, I think it's around 2.4 billion US a year right now for the drug. By 2030, it's expected to be about 3.5 billion. So these are large markets, large dollar values. So with Acyclovir, it's used to treat either with an oral tablet or a buccal tablet, or you can use an IV or an ointment, depending on the severity of the disease. It's meant to slow down the progression of the virus. So the virus goes into cells, repopulates, starts to spread into lesions, etc. So it slows things down, but it doesn't actually destroy the disease. The research that came out today was showing that Ruvidar on its own, without light activation, was able to significantly destroy the disease more than Acyclovir. And the interesting point is that once the cells were infected, if you used Acyclovir, it had no impact. But if you used Ruvidar, it was very effective in the destruction of the disease. So opens up a very large market for the company.
Yeah. So would this be another one of those partnering ideas? Because I would imagine that when you already have, something that's used quite regularly, as you mentioned, as the Acyclovir is, trying to be the new kid on the block is going to take some time to get people to understand who you are, what you do, the testing that's needed. So how do you move forward on something like this? Because the data seems very interesting moving forward.
Well, I think Theralase has been able to demonstrate that we have a very good control of the science and the technology. We've got bladder cancer with our intravesical drug and device. We're working on brain cancer, lung cancer, a number of other cancers, vaccines, and now we're into herpes simplex, another virus. So it makes sense to partner or license the technology versus trying to develop all these different irons that we have in the fire. So we're really focusing on oncology, which is our late stage asset, bladder cancer, and then in the development of brain and lung in 2025 using Ruvidar and radiation activation. So it makes a lot of sense for something like this to partner it to another pharmaceutical company that has an interest in this space, has the distribution, already has a market. So there's a number of very large players in the antiviral space. So Theralase will be looking to partner this technology with them. It would just bring it to market that much faster.
Yeah. And lastly, you talk about what you've mentioned before when we've been discussing it, just the adaptability you have for the drugs that you're creating. That is a big bonus for a company like yours to have the availability to use it for a number of different things.
Absolutely. So you've got a molecule or a small molecule that's been tried and true and tested for various indications. So
Yeah.
you're starting to build quite a data book on the drug, how it's used, safety, efficacy. So it can work on this disease, work on this disease, work on that condition. It can be activated by light, by radiation, by sound, by other drugs. So it's very appealing to large pharma because they can use it for a lot of other things we may not have even thought of yet.
Absolutely. Roger, thanks so much. A really good update and fascinating science, and we look forward to seeing how this all rolls out. So appreciate your time.
Thanks, Steve. Always a pleasure.
All right, Roger DuMoulin-White, CEO, Theralase Technologies.